Right, hello everyone in here. How you doing today? Today, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I'm just testing to see if the audio is actually coming from the microphone, because on one of the live streams, I actually reconnected my webcam, but I didn't realise the audio is actually coming from my webcam. So yeah, sorry about the terrible audio at one point. Yeah, we are going to play some survival Minecraft on a broken seed. And yeah, for some reason, even though it says that it doesn't work that well, the internet's working fine at the minute. So I'm going to use that to my advantage. And yeah. Oh god, it's already frozen, I think, has it? I don't know. Be nice to animals. We all are. Well, not all of us. Some idiots out there. Bloody abandon them. That's working extremely well. Ah, yes, mate. As some of you might know, even though I tried to do the stream at night, even though the internet was absolute crap, I can't hear any audio. Hold on a minute. There should be audio. What the hell? What the heck? There should be audio. Oh, there it is. Oh no, now the internet's going bad again. Oi! That's working amazingly, yes. Let's get away for now. Some of you might not know, but some of you probably will if you watched my stream from last night. What actually happened was that I was messing about with the new bee thing, because yesterday they updated Minecraft to actually add them, and they look so cool. Ah, I love it. I bloody love it. And yes, this is a broken seed, by the way. This is legit a broken world, because what actually happened was that when you first create a new Minecraft world, it gives you the option in the seed bit here to type in what. Oh, hold on, is it there? Where is it? I forgot where it is. Yeah, here it is. Seed 0. It gives you the option to type in anything you want. But the thing is, you can't type in 0. If you type in 0, it will come up with a bunch of different numbers instead. And 0 is, of course, the blank seed, which means obviously it's meant to give you something else. But what actually happened was that I managed to type in something else, Creed something something something. I forgot what it was called. And yeah, as you can see, it gave me the option 0. And normally you're not allowed that, but yeah, here you go. That's what I got, thankfully. And I'm extremely happy with it, because I am in love with worlds like this. Look at them! Where's the honey? That's what I want to know. How do you get the honey and all that? Oi, one hit kill, hell yeah! Did I get the wool from the sheep? Did I get the... Yes, I did. I got 2. Ah, oh, nice! Ah, oh, hell yeah. Right. I'm gonna go to bed in Minecraft now, because I don't want to die, obviously. I don't want to die! Sometimes wish I'd never been born hello. Yeah. I also tried making the bitrate higher. Let me just check. Is it? Yeah, perfectly fine at the minute. I just wanted to check the bitrate for a second then. But look how cool they look! They look amazing! I actually went into creative and placed all these myself. And yes, I know if you hit one of them, they'll kill you. If you break one of these, they'll also kill you. So yeah, they're like pigmen. They're like zombie pigmen, basically. If you leave them alone, they won't do anything to you. But if you do something to them, they'll slaughter you. Hey, what you bloody doing there, matey? Creeper! No, 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 no! Ah! Get the creeper, not me! Oh, yes! Oh, hell yeah! He's got armor. He's going to be harder to kill. Oh, thank God for that. Oh my God. Half a heart. Half a flipping heart. Oh my God. Oh my God. I need to eat right now. Actually, not even joking. Holy crap. Come on, heal. Ah, yes, thank God for that. I am going to walk and not run, so that way everything can heal up. Like, yeah. There actually shouldn't be this many hives, but like I said, I actually placed all of them. Because I wanted as many as possible, so that way, you know, it can start a massive population in different parts of this world. Like, you know, further out there and further out there. You know, stuff like that. So yeah, it's all going to start from here. And yeah. It will just keep going until there is God knows how many of them. But this is as many as there are so far. I have to admit, there are a little bit too many, probably. I have to be honest. And probably not enough beehives. I'm not sure how many bees can fit in one beehive. So, and I didn't count on how many bees I actually spawned in. So, yeah. Like I said, I went into creative and, you know, spawned them all in and all that rubbish. I love this world. Just looking at this, honest to God, makes me feel so... just like that relief. I don't know why, but just looking at all this and knowing that it's just a world where pretty much all of it's made of water. It's just a lovely looking world. It really is. Mojang, you need to do this more often. Oh, those dolphins don't sound too good. But yeah, you know what? I want to go... I don't know why, but I feel like I want to travel. You know what? Let's go straight. Should I go to that island, or that island there? Which one shall I go to? I mean, I know it's technically an ice... I know it's not an island, technically, but I like to call it an island because, well... Wait, is that a creeper or is that... Oh, sugarcane! Yes, mate! Nah, I'll go to this one here, because that's actually what I kind of felt like doing in the first place anyway. So, yeah, let's go over here. That's what it bloody sounds like to me. And B, and run. Oh! There is something I've always wanted to do with ice and a boat. I've always wanted to... Oh my God, you go really fast! Why do you go so fast? Holy crap! Whee! I'm drifting. Oh my God! Why do you go so fast? Ah, it goes slow on water. Damn it. That is really cool. I've always... Oh. Whoa. Oh, it's a polar bear! Don't hurt me. Do not hurt me. Ah, run! Get in the boat! Get in the boat! No! Okay, no, I am not going back here. Where's my map? I need my map. Oh, I thought I lost it then. 'Cause I know exactly where my home is from here. Yeah. At least I can't swim that fast in here. It should be, according to my map, straight ahead. Yeah, now it should be, like, yeah, I can see it now. So I can go left and right, left and right, left and right, for all I care. I don't care, really, because I can see it now, so. What I want to do is that I want to get loads and loads and loads of blocks and place it all down from one island to another, so that way it's actually attached to each other, instead of constantly having to use a boat. I mean, I don't know if a boat's actually quicker than walking, or like, I actually don't know. Ah, there's my bee island. That's cool. No! Ow. Ow. Ah, this is amazing. Just looking at this is like, wow. Hello, mate. How you doing? Oh, is that honey? Oh, it's full of honey. Okay, so how do you get the honey out of the beehive then? Do you do that, or like, I don't know. What are you meant to do? Wow, there's so much. I don't know how you're meant to get the honey out, but hey, as long as I've got food, that's fine. Right, what am I meant to do now? Jesus Christ. What can I or am I meant to do now? I actually don't know. What should I do? I really don't know. Oh, hold on, everything's froze. Oh, there we go, network quality problems. Hello? Hello? Okay. What the bloody hell just happened? Okay, so everything froze and then the stream just randomly stopped. Like, what the hell? That's dumb, you know? Oh. Right, so let's go and make an axe, because I actually want an axe at the minute. Do I have enough stone to actually make one? I'm not fully sure. Oh, I've got plenty. I can even make an iron one. Okay, so what I want to do instead is that I want to make an iron sword. And can I make an iron? No, I can't make an iron pickaxe. Let's make a stone pickaxe. Okay. Okay, let's do that tomorrow then. I need to sleep. Who hates the sound of bees? Like every time I see bees in my in one of my games, legit, every time I see bees in one of my games, I'm always like, bees! Not in a scared way, just like in an annoyed way, just be like, oh god. They're legit just gonna be float. Oh no. Oh, I thought it got destroyed. Oh, that would have terrified me. Okay, hold on a minute. I'm gonna do it, yeah, I'm gonna do it until the mouse has disappeared. Because I actually feel like it's the mouse that's making everything lag. Oh, it's still there! God's sake. Yes, yes, finally, it's gone. Okay, that's gonna get annoying for a little bit. Are you done? Okay, why is the quality of this so damn low? It's so damn low, oh, it's so damn low, oh. Oh, I nearly hit one of them by accident. Ah, oh, fudge. Right. Let's turn all of the... Oh, God. Let's turn all of them into planks. I ain't using andesite. You can bugger off. You're almost done for anyway. You're definitely done for. You know what? Yeah, I'll put the helmet on. What button is it to... Oh, it's Y. Ah, my chest plate broke. Damn it. Ah, for God's sake. That's annoying. Got a smidge bit of armour, at least. Don't need you. Oh, definitely need a sapling. Actually, speaking of sap... Bed is too far away. I'm sorry, what? I wasn't even trying to get to my bed. Oh, a cow! Die! Actually... No. 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 No! Stupid thing. Hey, sticks. Stick. Stick, 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 stick. Give me stick. Let me smash. You remember that meme, or whatever it was at the time? I don't think I have enough. I think I might have half the amount to actually get to that first island over there. So I'm going to start from the edge. No, I don't want to. I ain't going to start from the edge. I want to start from where I believe could be the best spot. I think I'll start from here. So then I'll do you, do you, do you, do you, do you. Oh, fudge. That's gonna be annoying. Ah, come on. Da. Okay, I need to find that sweet spot of where I can do both at the same time, like that. Oh my god, doing it like this is actually throwing me off a little, being like, oh, is that right? Is that wrong? I don't know. Crap! Okay, I have a bloody boat on me, so why don't... Oh no, I don't. And my hunger's going down, no! Oh, crap! I need to put all my food in the hotbar, like, right now. Didn't stand a chance! Ha! That's what you get for messing about, you weirdo. Yeah, I think I was right. Yeah, I'm definitely right. Like, I've only got half. I've only got I've literally only gone halfway. So I keep forgetting I can't sprint. I can only walk at the minute. Oh, that'd be... I thought that'd be with coming to attack me because I thought I hit it. Raw beef. Ah, oh, crap. Yeah, I need to cook stuff like right now. Ow. No! Can I use wood? And wood to... How on earth can you make charcoal now then? Because I don't know. That's gonna really pee me off until I find out. How to make charcoal in Minecraft.
Here's what I found.
How to make charcoal in Minecraft 2011? No, because, hello, I need to know the 2019 way. Ramatan kukudamatan. Ding! Okay. Oh, I've got bloody raw chicken that I didn't even realise that needs to be cooked. Oh, I've got more wood. Yes, mate. Ah, hell yeah! I'll keep that in my hand and I'll start building tomorrow. Tomorrow. I love ya tomorrow. You're only a brother dear. Like, look, they're actually going out now. They're gonna make their own hives soon. I have to do that super early because of how delayed this is. You know what? Screw this. I'm gonna get my boat. I hope I can place and row at the same time. Can I go... No, stupid question. I was going to say, can I go through it? But no, obviously not. What are you doing sticking out? I swear, if I don't get it and I have to get out my boat to swim down, to swim back up, I'll be annoyed. So what's the point in using a boat? Yes, got it. Perfect. Oh my. That is beyond annoying. It has to be the same pattern the whole way. And if it's not, I'll get annoyed. I really will get annoyed. I really want to cheat and go into creative mode, but no, I'm not gonna. Why did they give you the option to switch from survival to creative mode? I don't get that. Wait, is that? It's the same the whole way through so far, thank God for that. So that would be really annoying. Okay, this is beyond annoying now. Yeah. Just ignore me. Oh, it's so far! Do I not have any more? Ah. Alright, so where is all the saplings from the trees that I've been cutting down? I want to know where the saplings are, man. So I don't know. Any here? Wait, did I just... Oh, you can't go through it. Okay. It didn't like a mod. Hey, don't blame me if you get in my way. You know, if you have that wood and this wood next to each other, this is just a retextured wood of that. I need sticks as well, so because I want to make a fence so I don't fall off, or maybe place ladders. Do you think ladders might be a better option actually? Because if I do fall off, then I could just use a ladder to climb back on. Okay, I don't need the map for now, so I'm just going to place... Where can I place it? Right there. Yeah. My ovary. Ooh. Oh, I forgot you could strip wood. I hope you can still turn it into planks though, because I don't want stripped wood. I want actual logs turned into planks. I don't think that's enough still. I legit think that that it's not enough. Oh wait, did I? Ah, yes, mate. Oh. Looking at the amount I have now, I do think I might have enough. Oh, I went through the bee. Stop lagging. Lag! Ah! Okay, I'm gonna take my time. I'm not gonna rush. And I'm gonna stay absolutely quiet until this is done. So, Ian Harris kept to his word and he stayed quiet for the next 10 years. More like a few minutes, maybe. I thought I was going to be placed on top then. I would have been annoyed. Well, not as annoyed, because it would have been on top and then I would have still easily gotten it, but... Legit, I don't know how close I am right now, but I hope I'm a lot closer now. I have 44 more, come on. I'm nearly there. Come on, man. Okay, so if I then go straight and then turn that way. Yeah. But you guys get what I mean, right? I want to make a path from one island to another, so it's all fully connected. So that way... but the thing is, this is made out of wood. If lightning strikes it, then I'm screwed, aren't I? Don't you dare fall off! That's why I want to make sticks, so I can make a fence. Look, you see what I mean? They're both pretty much exactly the same, just retextured. I've only placed one tree down at the minute. I'm not getting saplings. And that's really peeing me off a little, because I want a load of saplings for... What are you trading? Right, so you are... This is absolute rubbish. No, thank you. You can... No wonder why you're a wandering villager. Come on, Mojang, make the trades better. Like, legit. Like, oh, get a so-and-so for an emerald, or for a diamond, or for an enchanted thingamajiggy. I don't bloody know. Just make it... Oh, I don't even need to go to my crafting table to... It's 3:42 PM. Yeah, I definitely think this is a much quicker way. Oh, I thought I overdid it then. That would be really annoying that I'd have to swim all the way back. Dude, so... Yeah. Yeah, I have too many. But I've got exactly a stack, though. Which is certainly more than enough. You know what? No, I'll keep going. I was only trying to make this as quick as possible because I want to get to do other stuff as well. I don't just want to... Yeah! Hold on! It will connect eventually. And boom! Yes, mate. Right, be right back, guys. Yes! Did it. Guaranteed, when the dinner's done, I'll be like, I'm not hungry now. The reason why I was called down just then was because my mum was calling me down. Was because for some reason, I was starting to get really bad burning feeling. A really bad burning sensation in my throat and my stomach a little. And we're not sure if it's acid reflux or if it's something totally different. But my mum's got me Gaviscon to hopefully try and get rid of it or fix it or whatever. I'm alright. I'm fine at the minute. I don't need any. It's just that today it just hurt really bad, and it's never hurt the way it hurt before. That was instant. Oh, if I can do this without breaking the vines. Ah, does it? It does it anyway. Damn it. That would have been cool. Any saplings, any saplings. Hey! Stop lagging! Ah! Oh my god. I need to get that. I need to try and do that Ethernet thing, I tell ya. I need to try and find a way to connect it. Because I'm getting sick of it, just of this constantly lagging. And it looks absolute crap for the stream. And I want it to be as high as possible. Not just the resolution, but the frame rate, everything, basically. I want it to look as good as possible. But this is the best I can do at the minute, because I don't know how to do the Ethernet thing, majiggy. You know what, I'll do that one as well. Yay! Saplings! I thought I saw another one. Hey! One fell in front of me. 4! Hell yeah, mate! I'm definitely gonna get more than 4, which will obviously have some, which I'll obviously have some for my house. Is that a... As you guys can see clearly, I'm on another island. Oh, that looks so far away though. I mean, this one I can just jump for. Okay, no, I can't. I was gonna say maybe I could jump, but I didn't press the bloody A button. A button. Jesus Christ! I'm getting sick of this. What on earth is that? Oh, it's a grass block. Okay. Yeah, either way, I still can't get to. Oh no, you better not have a Triton, mate. I'll kill you. If you do, you're dead. You dead. Baby. Are there any on top? Yeah, there is. And there's an apple. Can I grab it? Ah. Oh crap, where's my path? There it is. I was going to say where's the path, but... Ah! Don't fall off! Oh no! Oh no! Keep swinging until you can't swing no more. Haha! Much better. Oi! Look at how much is gone. No! Come on, little baby. Oh, a little baby has some punch. He's gonna drown, I tell you. Watch, ready? Come on, drown already, will ya? Do zombies drown? I don't get why he isn't drowning yet. Screw it, I'm jumping in. I was right! Oh my god, I was actually right! When zombies die, they turn into drowned. I said that last night. I said that out of bloody curiosity. And I was right. He knew he was going to do that. He knew he was committing to that. Where's that creeper? Where the hell did that creeper go? Oh, that's where he is. Ah, you little dickhead. Obviously, I'm going to rebuild all this because I don't want this to look like a rubbish Ireland, you know what I'm saying, man? I believe it was something like this. I don't fully... Connection. I swear to God. You know what? Ah, it looks pretty cool. Ah! I just want to live peacefully. Why does everything have to be so painful? Come on, man. This is a lovely world. Oh, out of all bloody places, huh? Ah, slowly going back now. Guys, it looks like I'm gonna have to end this stream here. Actually, no. I'm not gonna end it because this is lagging too much for my liking and I'm kind of struggling. So you know what? Let's turn that off for now and see what's on the internet. Starting off with good old YouTube. Studio versus live. Yeah. Let me just stretch. Ugly looking bloke. That him. What's on here? Oh, I've not seen this yet. I'll watch that. I'll watch that when my dinner's done. Right. Random seed speed run. 2 hours? Jesus Christ. How long have I been live for? 54 minutes. Let's go on to... Oh, God, where is it? There it is. I swear, if this mouse keeps playing up, I'm going to be so annoyed. I really will be annoyed. Let's try oldest. See what actually... 9 disturbing fairy tale. Ow. I think I've seen this one before.
Chills. Number 9, Who Killed Cock Robin? Penned in 1744, this nonsensical poem casually introduces children to the morbid concepts of death, murder, and funeral preparations by using cute little animals and insects as examples.
Wait, no. Hold on a minute, I'm getting cold. And what? Why? I mean, then again, I never got bloody prepared for my first funeral. God, sounds like I died, but no, I actually didn't. I mean, then again, I don't remember much, but then my second funeral I went to, which was sadly my Aunt Kim. Oh, sorry, I don't know what the hell that sound was. I cried my eyes out. The weird thing is, I cried my eyes out a lot at my Auntie Kim's funeral, but I hardly knew my Auntie Kim. But I knew my Uncle Jeff more, who sadly died of cancer. But the thing is, I managed to hold back the tears. Like, I legit could not control myself at my Auntie Kim's funeral when it came to watching the curtains shut and knowing that she was going to be cremated and turned to ash, and I hate that. I really do. Hold on though, but I want to see what the hell was going on out there. Just a second ago. Hello? What's going on? Why is there shouting? That's not what it sounded like it. Is that the dinner? What's that smell then? I'm just wondering. Like gravy or something. Is it? Oh. I don't bloody know.
In the original poem, which is only 4 verses long, a sparrow calmly admits to shooting the bird known as cock robin with a bow and arrow. No explanation is given, just a heartless murder without a motive. Apparently, this was not enough to scare children, so roughly 3 decades later, an extended version has a fly watched with fascination as cock robin slowly dies from the arrow, a fish who collects his blood in a dish for who knows what, a beetle offering to sew a death shroud for cock robin to wear as a ghostly shade, an owl grave digger, and all sorts of other non-human participants eagerly volunteering to perform some sort of death-related chore at the funeral. Eventually, Victorian-era illustrations were added, and that's where things take a really bizarre turn. A fly dressed in a turncoat gracefully bows towards the reader and beckons for them to embrace death. A frenzied bull rings a church bell with muscular human-like arms, and large groups of animals bawl their heads off over the anguish of losing a loved one. Their human-like expressions are disturbing. While the content is not overly gory, the subject matter is quite heavy for a children's audience, which is why Who Killed Cock Robin deserves an honorable mention on this list of grim tales. Number 8, The Monkey and the Crab. This dark tale of greed and revenge comes from ancient China. A crab grows a persimmons tree, and once the fruit grows ripe, he enlists the help of a monkey to pick them from the branches. Instead of sharing the fruit with the crab like a good monkey, however, the monkey decides instead to bludgeon the cheerful talking crab to death by hurling unripe persimmons until his head was smashed and his shell was broken in several places. You've got to love the gory specifics, especially in a children's story. At this point, the legend splits into 2 variations. In one, the crab is pregnant, which adds a whole other level of depravity to the story by essentially turning the monkey into a womanizer. In this version, the crab's young breaks free from their mother's corpse and seek revenge by peeling the monkey's eyes open and gleefully burning him to death. After this brutal execution, everyone lives happily ever after. In the second version, the crab's son comes across his father's corpse and somehow enlists the help of a bee and a living chunk of rock to deliver a torture-filled demise that ends with the crab victoriously punching the monkey's head off. With absolutely no moral whatsoever, in ancient Chinese fables, the lines between good and evil are often intentionally blurred, and this is a perfect example. Number 7, Pinocchio. Disney went to great lengths to omit the gorier parts from the original Pinocchio, written in 1883 by Italian author Carlo Collodi. For example, you might remember how the wooden boy's nose grows after lying. But do you recall when he slowly, very slowly burns his legs off while trying to dry his feet by the oven? Remember the scene where Pinocchio smashes Jimmy Cricket to death because he doesn't appreciate the nagging advice? No, of course not. In the original version of Pinocchio, however, these scenes exist. The talking cricket, as he's known as not Jiminy Cricket from Disney, is horrifically murdered by Pinocchio with blunt force. When describing how Pinocchio took a hammer from the bench and threw it with all his strength at the talking cricket, the narrator creepily addresses the audience as "my dear children." There's no mistaking it. Here, a violent murder is being explained in real time to children. The poor cricket fell from the wall dead, according to the narrator, only to come back as a ghost later on to give more advice from beyond the grave. When the talking cricket returns, Pinocchio offers himself to be bludgeoned to death so long as his family is spared. The talking cricket has absolutely no intentions of harming anybody. But what a thought on Pinocchio's behalf. That is one emotionally disturbed puppet. Did we also mention that Pinocchio was hanged by an angry mob? And that was where the story was originally supposed to end, until the editors convinced Collodi to lighten up and write an ending that wouldn't send kids screaming into their mother's aprons. Somehow these scenes did not make the Disney cut.
Good.
Number 6, the 5 Chinese brothers. Let's move away from insects, animals, and puppets and focus more on human acts of depravity. The 5 Chinese brothers takes kids on a whimsical illustrated journey of prolonged murder trials and capital punishment. Learning about the death penalty is a great subject for a kid's book, right? Apparently so, according to Claire Hutchett Bishop. This is probably the only children's story to ever deliver the lines, "He was arrested, put in prison, and condemned to have his head cut off," and "All the people were assembled on the village square to witness the execution with a rosy tone." As the story implies, there were 5 Chinese brothers, each with their own special superpower that will come in handy later. One of the Chinese brothers swallows the sea so that he can fish, but he accidentally drowns a village child after he spits the sea back out. For this, he is sentenced to death. To avoid this punishment, the Chinese brothers secretly trade places with each other over and over again. The first Chinese brother goes home under the pretense of saying goodbye to his family, but he actually sends back his brother, who has an iron neck, and makes a beheading attempt impossible. They simply could not cut his head off, the narrator casually explains to a presumably all-children audience. After that, everyone was angry and they decided that he should be drowned, another exact phrase from the book. So the Chinese brother goes home to secretly trade places with a brother who can hold his breath underwater. After the mob decides he should be burned, another Chinese brother steps forward who can resist flames and suffocation. Thinking that this was all the same person all along, the mob eventually decides the Chinese brother must be innocent, and they finally leave the family alone. Number 5, Jimmy Crack Corn. Most people have happily sung the chorus of this song at least once as a child, blissfully unaware that they are actually reciting a song deeply rooted in slavery, misery, alcoholism, and possibly even murder. A full examination of the seemingly innocent lyrics revealed the narrator to be an unnamed slave who had to, among other chores, keep the flies off his master's horse whenever he went riding around on the farm. One day, as the song goes, an unmanageable swarm of flies landed on the horse, and one chanced to bite him on the thigh. According to the slave narrator, the horse threw my master in the ditch, and the master did not survive. There was a trial to determine what happened, and the verdict was the blue-tail fly. That's all well and good, but who is Jimmy? And why are there 2 of them now shucking corn together? Well, there's no they, and the song has nothing to do with corn on the cob. Jim Crack is an old expression which means cheap, and the corn the song speaks of is a reference to corny whiskey, which the narrator is drinking to happily celebrate his master's death. In other words, master is dead, time to get drunk. Some people even argue that the slave actually murders his master and is now sarcastically reciting his alibi while drinking. Either way, this light and airy folk song has had kids cheerfully singing about death and drinking alcohol for years. Number 4, Brave Mr. Buckingham. You may recognize Dorothy Cunhart's Pat the Bunny, but you most likely have not heard of the author's less celebrated work, Brave Mr. Buckingham. This is quite possibly the only time in literary history where a severed head appears on a book cover made for kids. The purpose of this book is to show that losing a tooth does not hurt. Sounds innocent enough, right? Somehow, Cunhart thought that showing a Native American named Mr. Buckingham routinely getting dismembered would be a great way to put children's minds at ease about losing a loose tooth. Throughout the story, Mr. Buckingham chops his arm off while landscaping, burns his leg off in the kitchen, gets his hand cut off by a saw, and even gets his neck run over by a car. After every accident, Mr. Buckingham proudly exclaims, "That didn't hurt." This is supposed to be reassuring, but it most likely encourages kids to be afraid of horrible household accidents that they never would have imagined otherwise. Tragedy after tragedy, the Native American relentlessly carries on until he is nothing but a smiling, decapitated head on a table at the end of the last page. For some reason, he is being fed strawberries by a little girl, and he says, "That didn't hurt," after every bite. Creepy? Yes. Reassuring for kids with a loose tooth? Not so much. Number 3, Strawwell Petter. This German children's book was translated into English by Mark
Is that Freddy Krueger?
Twain, author of The Adventures of
What on
Huckleberry
earth?
and Finn. The title means shock-headed Peter, and it is a collection of short stories following helpless children as they learn not to misbehave the hard way, usually in the form of death. The story of Soup Caspar, for example, is a cautionary tale warning children to always clean their plate or else. Augustus is a young German boy who repeatedly refuses to eat the nasty soup his family ever so graciously offers him every night for dinner. The child wastes away a little more each time he refuses soup. The moral of the story is distinctly rapped upon the final line, which abruptly reads, "And on the 5th day he was dead." Another entry, aptly named The Dreaded Story of Pauline and the Matches, follows a girl named Pauline who wants to light a match much in the same manner that she has seen her mother do plenty of times before. Predictably, she sets herself on fire. The narrator does not mince words when describing how she burns all over, everywhere, her arms and hands and eyes and nose, till she had nothing more to lose. The accompanying illustration also holds nothing back. It's literally a little girl set ablaze, screaming, flapping her arms wildly. As for Pauline's remains, no trace of her was found except for her shoes in a pile of ashes. Clearly, the writing style for these folk tales is far too brutal to be considered appropriate for any children for the modern era. But in Germany, this was an effective way to teach kids.
What?
Number 2, Krampus.
Why?
Germany continues a timeless tradition of scaring its young with Krampusnacht, or Krampus Night, a grim celebration of a Christmas demon that is in every child's worst nightmare.
What, the
While the
Grinch?
rest of the world was excitedly leaving cookies for Santa as a child, German children were filled with dread at the thought of Krampus, a goat-legged hellion with curled horns, ashen skin, and a forked tongue, and a rod for beating bad kids. Whereas Santa merely denies you your favorite presents for misbehaving, the Krampus will literally destroy you. Oddly enough, both figures dispense coal to bad kids. Both also carry sacks, but Krampus has a sack full of kids to take with him, not presents to give out. If you've been bad, into the Krampus's bag you go. According to the legend, the Krampus will either drown the children or take them back with him to hell, hunting down children, beating them senseless for minor infractions, and sending them to hell for eternal punishment. It's Christmas time in Germany.
Speaking of Christmas, it's bloody coming up to bloody Christmas. Like, how is that gonna help anyone? Especially back then. Like, come on.
Number 1, The Little Match Girl. Denmark tops the list with this morose and depressing short story published in 1845 about a nameless girl walking a busy street on New Year's Eve, trying to sell matches. Besides not being able to sell a single match to anyone who passes by, the girl has her shoes stolen by a homeless person, in case he has children one day, the narrator adds. So basically for no reason other than to be horrible. Desolate, the little girl sits down in an alley, where she grew colder and colder, and reflects on her horrible life. Are you depressed yet? It only gets worse. She could return home, but her father will beat her for not making any money. Besides, she thinks it is almost as cold in her house as it is outside. Her family is so poor, they are forced to plug cracks in the roof with straw and rags. Rather than go back to her abusive father, the girl decides to keep herself warm using the matches. She must not remember Pauline from Strawwell Petter. While keeping herself warm, she is magically able to see through a wall into someone's home. She is looking into a dining room. Suddenly, a roasted goose gets up from the table and charges at her. The narrator does not openly say it, but the girl most likely hallucinates the scene from a combination of hypothermia and starvation. Moments later, the girl is leaning against the wall, frozen to death. Her grandmother's spirit, the only person who had loved, guides her higher and higher towards heaven, which is the only solace this depressing story offers. In the meantime, however, her frozen corpse is waiting to be discovered by whoever chances upon it. End of story. Happy New Year?
Okay, how are any of them horrible stories gonna help anyone? Even back when they were made. That is so stupid and sad and ridiculous. Why? 6 scary and unexplained phone calls.
Chills.
I want to see, is these videos actually in 1080p back then? Yeah? Oh my god, when were these uploaded? 3 years ago. Fairly new then.
Chills. Number 6. The Bloody Car. Judith Himes was only 22 years old when she discovered that she was pregnant. Since having a child out of wedlock was a social taboo in 1965, the Florida resident secretly arranged to have an illegal abortion. On the day of her scheduled appointment, Judith left as planned, only to never return home. 3 weeks later, a rental car in her name was found hundreds of miles away in Atlanta, Georgia. Bloodstains were in the back seat, but Judith was nowhere to be found. The only possible lead was a man in his 30s who had been seen parking the vehicle and exiting with a duffel bag. Police suspected this man to be George Hadju, who was arrested months later for impersonating a physician, but who was never properly questioned after posting bail and skipping town. The case went cold for 25 years until a Florida police officer named Chuck Scherer received a strange phone call one day from someone claiming to be a radio talk show host from Omaha, Nebraska. The radio host said they had information about Judith Himes from an anonymous call-in, but when Scherer called the station the next day to verify, no one had any idea what he was referring to. Whoever had been talking to Scherer that day had to be an imposter. 2 days later, Scherer received a phone call saying that Judith was alive in Omaha. Shortly thereafter, Scherer received a third phone call, this time from someone who was apparently living in Hungary, claiming to have recently spent time in the country with George Hadju, the fake doctor who was on the run. The FBI traced the phone call and verified it was indeed from Budapest, Hungary, but they were unable to verify that the caller had been associating with Hadju. Strangest of all, however, is how Scherer himself had just returned from a trip to Omaha, Nebraska when he had begun receiving these calls. During his stay, Scherer did not mention the Himes case to a single person. After all, why would he mention a cold case that's decades old? So why did he receive 3 phone calls about the case upon returning, 2 of which were leads from Omaha? Some say that Judith was living in Omaha and wanted to throw off the trail. But how would she know of Scherer's trip? And why would she think he was a threat to her discovery? No one knows. The case was officially closed after an anonymous letter was sent to the police station explaining that Judith had died in the rental car during the abortion. But the 3 mystery calls had never been solved. Number 5. Who killed Julia Wallace? William Herbert Wallace was a meek and mild-mannered insurance agent who lived in Liverpool, England in 1931. He went to play chess at a local cafe one particular evening, as was his usual routine. Upon arrival, however, an employee had a strange and cryptic message to give. According to the cafe worker, someone identifying themselves as R.M. Qualtrough had called and left instructions for Wallace to travel to 25 Menlove Gardens East, where he was to return their phone call. Wallace figured this was simply an overly discreet client who wanted to speak with him about insurance matters and prepared himself for a short business trip. The next day, according to what Wallace later told police detectives, he allegedly headed to Menlove Gardens East as per the caller's instructions. However, while there was in fact a Menlove's Garden North, a Menlove Gardens South, and a Menlove Gardens West, Wallace was surprised to learn that there was no such place as Menlove Gardens East. The mysterious caller had given him a fictional address. When Wallace returned home, he was shocked to find his wife, Julia Wallace, had been savagely beaten to death by an intruder. Investigators were able to trace the mysterious call to a phone booth that was a mere 400 yards away from Wallace's house, and also in close proximity to a local tramway station that he would have had to use in order to get to Menlove Gardens. The police suspected that Wallace had called the cafe himself and left the message as an alibi before murdering his wife and catching a tram ride across town. A jury agreed, and Wallace was sentenced to death for murder. Wallace appealed the verdict, however, and a second look at the evidence revealed that there was no possible way that Wallace could have been responsible for the murder. A milkman had seen Julia Wallace alive at 6:45 p.m., meaning that Wallace, a heavy smoker in his 50s with a kidney disease, would had to have staged a break-in, beaten his wife to death, and cleaned himself up in less than 5 minutes in order to make it to the station on time. Wallace was freed from prison, but his life would never be the same, all thanks to one phone call that was either an attempt to keep Wallace away from his wife during her murder or simply a bad-timed prank. Number 4. Caller predicts exact time of JFK's death. In 1963, two switchboard operators in California overheard a strange and mysterious 15-minute phone call that has been the center of countless government investigations ever since. Doris Bliss was working the switchboards when one phone line in particular caught her attention due to a fuzzy sound. She received no reply after identifying herself as an operator, and after hearing strange whispers, Doris got her supervisor, Gene Shores, to listen with her, now fearful that the call...
Hold on a minute, no. Phone call predicting JFK's death. I want to actually listen to the whole 15-minute phone call to see what they were talking about, and, you know, like, 'cause I'm actually curious.
Caller might have been having an emergency. According to FBI reports, the caller dialed a series of numbers and then faintly whispered, "The president is gonna die at 10:10, which was approximately 2 minutes away. The voice also spoke of how there's gonna be fire in all of the windows of the Justice and the Supreme Court, before going on to say that the government is going up in flames. After the caller dialed another long string of numbers, Jean asked if she could be of service, at which point a middle-aged woman calmly replied, "Please get off the line, I'm using the phone," in a matter-of-fact tone. The conversation went back to more erratic whispering, and the caller slightly changed their prediction, now saying that the president is gonna die at 10:30. While this call was happening, President Kennedy was unknowingly traveling towards his infamous death at the hands of Lee Harvey Oswald. His assassination occurred precisely at 10:30 Pacific Daylight Time, which just so happened to coincide with the California time zone where the call had originated from. Even more eerie, JFK's motorcade was originally supposed to arrive at 10 o'clock Pacific Daylight Time, but experienced travel delays. This was right around the time that the mysterious caller adjusted her prediction of the president's demise to 10:30. Number 3, the disappearance of Brandon Swanson. No one knows whatever happened to Brandon Swanson, not even his parents, who were the last people to ever speak with him over the phone. In 2008, the 19-year-old Minnesota college student became stranded after crashing into a ditch on the side of a gravel country road. He called his parents and asked for them to pick him up, but they had trouble finding his exact location. After 45 minutes of searching for him, the conversation took a very dark turn. The college student grew impatient and told his parents that he was going to take a shortcut through a farmer's field to meet them. It was a full moon that night. Brandon screamed a 4-letter curse word to his father, and the line abruptly went dead.
But the minute that call dropped, I just became sick. I knew it was wrong. I knew it was very, very bad, and could hardly fathom, what was happening at that point.
It was the last anyone had ever heard from Brandon again. Brandon's car was found by police the next day, but no traces of the young man were ever discovered. The rural scene was unexplainably devoid of any evidence. No foul play was suspected. In fact, the forensic teams couldn't even tell which direction he would have headed off in the night before. Over 500 volunteers and dozens of bloodhounds could not determine what happened, despite covering 120 miles in 120 days. Police reasoned that Brendan most likely fell into a nearby river and drowned. His parents, however, have a different story. When they tried to call him back, they claim the phone rang and rang. If Brendan went underwater, they argue, then the phone should not have continued to ring for hours when called. Brandon's mother even claims that one of the bloodhounds followed a scent trail from the car down a stretch of road to the abandoned farm. According to her, the dog actually jumped in the river, jumped back out, worked the trail to another gravel road, and then lost the scent. Whatever happened to Brandon on that fateful night, his remains were never found, and whatever cut his phone call short on that night was never revealed. Number 2. Harassing phone call sent a man to the mental ward. Bashir Kojaji worked at a trendy DC restaurant called Marrakesh, which served Moroccan cuisine. Starting in 1983, Bashir began to receive a barrage of mysterious phone calls that were so extreme, they would eventually place him in the mental hospital. Every day, a mysterious caller going by the moniker of L'Enfant would threaten the staff of Marrakesh with death, scream obscenities at the top of their lungs, and go on long abusive triads that would make little sense. The calls would begin as soon as Bashir stepped in the restaurant and would continue every hour. Sometimes the caller would imitate a young girl, an African American child, or even an adult with a variety of thick Middle Eastern accents. Even though the Marrakesh's owner was Bashir's niece and not Bashir himself, the restaurant still continued to get harassing phone calls for nearly a decade, long after Bashir had stopped working there. Eventually, the phone harassment escalated to physical intimidation. Bashir's Mercedes-Benz was vandalized and the son of his close friend was ambushed and severely beaten. His pregnant girlfriend began receiving death threats as well. When Bashir traveled to Philadelphia to visit his sister and escape the harassment, the relentless phone calls somehow followed him. At this point, he was suffering from a lack of sleep, suffering from nightmares, and constantly fearing for his life. Even after he committed himself to a psychiatric care facility, the Marrakesh restaurant continued to be the target of organized phone harassment for quite some time. The FBI soon investigated, and a phone trace revealed that the harassing phone calls were coming from payphones that were geographically far apart. Basically, Bashir was the target of a calculated gang of stalkers who were apparently trying to drive him mad. But who could they have been? There are a couple explanations. In 1974, Bashir was kidnapped while in Beirut and tortured for 5 days until he made a grisly suicide attempt, which forced his captors to drop him off at a hospital. Exactly which faction his captors belonged to remains unknown. Bashir, however, claims that they had belonged to a terrorist group called the Palestinian Liberation Organization, or the PLO for short. According to Bashir, the PLO have mistaken him for a CIA informant and have been devoted to driving him completely insane ever since. An article in the Washington Post, however, suggests another possibility. For years, Bashir had been purchasing advertising space in the Washington Times and the Washington Post to run bizarre anti-Arabic messages. This apparently is in response to his kidnapping. These ads, which Bashir calls therapeutic, accuse Jewish people of corrupting Arab families, promoting homosexuality, and other strange claims. At the bottom of the ad reads the same line, sponsored by the Marrakesh Enterprises. It also specifically lists the address of the Marrakesh restaurant, along with its phone number. No one can say for sure if Bashir was actually being stalked by a terrorist organization since the 1970s, or if the phone calls were a result of his anti-Arabic advertisements. Either way, the true identity of L'Enfant, the man who drove Bashir insane, has never been identified. Number 1. The Washington Gang Stalking.
Chills.
The Cook-Kendall family is just like any other Washington household, except for one major difference. They were the victims of a perpetual and relentless campaign of cell phone harassment that stretched on seemingly forever. It all started when 16-year-old Courtney's cellular phone began sending threatening text messages to her friends on its own. After that, a caller with a raspy voice began to threaten the lives of their pets and warned that all family members would one day have their throats slit.
You are so dead. I will kill you. We are going to start coming every night. You just might not know when. We're looking at you.
The incessant calls soon began to escalate, describing every move that the Kakendals made in real time, from what they were doing to what they were wearing. One conversation even told the Kakendals' mother that they preferred lemons when she was cutting limes in the kitchen. After filing a report, the family was warned never to contact the police again. The caller would even sometimes play back private conversations that they had managed to somehow record without the poor family knowing, including a conversation they had with a local detective. After receiving enough anonymous threats and intimidation, the family reached their breaking point and installed a new security system in their home. Shortly after doing so, however, the mother received a voicemail stating that they already knew what the new security code was and that the family was not safe. Likewise, efforts to switch phone companies were fruitless. The new phone number was always compromised within a day. Perhaps the most disturbing aspects of this story is how their harasser or harassers somehow seemed to be taking control of the very phone itself. It was not uncommon for the family's phones to turn themselves off and on out of nowhere, and for certain settings such as the ringtone to have been changed on their own. When the police tried to trace the source of these calls, the trace number always came back to the Kakendals' own phones, even if they were turned off at the time of the call. Security experts suggest that a hacker may have infiltrated the cell phone company's website, where they could have remotely exploited cell phone features such as GPS tracking and voicemail from afar. Even if this was true, however, the person responsible, along with the reason why someone would relentlessly target a seemingly innocent family, remains a disturbing mystery to this day.
Stupid, nasty people. I'm gonna kill you, you're so dead, meh 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 meh. Whatever. Why? Bloody why? I don't understand. What makes people think it's okay to do that? Oh, today I'm gonna threaten someone. No! I don't get you stupid people. Predicting that John F. Kennedy will get killed at 10:30? I mean... I don't get it. I do not get it. Poor bloke. Like, driving some innocent bloke for 10 years? Insane? That's just stupid. That's ridiculous. I can't believe that.
Chills. Number 8. The Ant Gloves. The Sitire Moawe Indians live deep in the Amazon jungles of Brazil, where they still practice brutal ancient customs to this day. Several times a year, boys as young as 12 have to go through an extremely painful initiation if they ever want to become respected as adults. These village kids have to wear painful gloves.
But they're 12! They're not adults! Are you mad? Did he say every year?
Times a year, boys as young as practice brutal ancient customs to this day. Several times a year, boys as young as 12 have to go through an extremely painful initiation if they ever want to become respected as adults. These village kids have to wear painful gloves on both of their hands that have been filled with bullet ants. The bullet ant stings like a wasp. It hurts so bad that it feels like you are getting shot, hence the name. Scientists have even measured its sting to be 30 times worse than that of an American bee. The gloves themselves are made of tightly woven leaves with small holes on the inside. These holes are to keep the ants fixed in place with their stingers pointed towards the skin. Once the gloves go on, there's no escaping the hundreds of venomous stings from within. To get the ants into the holes without hurting them, they are first submerged into a mixture of liquid herbs that knocks them out. Then they are pushed one by one into tiny holes that hold them in place so that they can't move, only to sting over and over again. The Satire Mawe children must wear the ant gloves and endure the stinging pain for at least 10 minutes as they dance in a circle with medicine men and other tribe members, encouraging them to continue and not pass out. It can take up to 11 hours before all of the village children have been tested. By the end of the ceremony, their hands are black, swollen, and paralyzed. It's not uncommon for them to hallucinate or faint afterwards and feel numb for days. One boy said he felt so hot by the end of the ritual that water would become smoke if it touched his skin. Unfortunately, wearing the gloves just once is not enough. Boys are expected to perform this ritual no less than 20 times within a single year before they are considered tough enough to be a man. That's a lot of ant bites.
That's so
Number 7,
stupid.
land diving.
That is
When the
so
yams become ripe
stupid.
on the Pentecost Island, it means that it's time for the Nagil ritual. Nagil translates into land diving. It is the Ngos tribe's way of becoming a man, and it is about as dangerous as it sounds, way more dangerous than the ant gloves of the Satire Mawe. For this ritual, boys as young as 8 years old must jump off a gigantic tower. The only thing keeping them from splattering below are 2 jungle vines wrapped around their ankles. The object of this ritual is to demonstrate their courage to the tribe. When a child's turn to jump comes, they are supposed to perform a speech that summarizes who they are and how they view the world, basically their last words. This is a very dramatic moment and all of their family is watching. When the time comes to jump, they must pray that the jungle vines they picked out with their family are moist enough to support their body weight without snapping. If they succeed, they dance with the rest of their tribe in the winner's circle as the ceremony continues. If the vine is too dry, it snaps, along with their neck. Like the ant gloves, jumping from the tower just one time is simply not enough to prove you are a man. You have to repeat the ritual every year. On top of that, it gets more dangerous every year. The tower has a series of platforms that go up to 70 feet. You start at 20 feet with your first jump and jump from 5 feet higher each year. Deaths and severe injuries are quite common. Number 6, ritualized child abuse. Children of ancient societies were often taught harsh lessons so that they were better able to survive in a brutal and unforgiving world. The Spartans were taken from their mothers as children and used to serve food. They themselves were never given food, but they were beaten if they were ever caught eating. This was to teach young Spartan children at an early age to become tough and sneaky, 2 skills that would prepare them for the real world.
That is not how the world works. Are they mad? They're clearly stupid if they think abusing and doing dangerous, stupid stuff is okay. Because clearly it's not. That's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And I'm only 3 minutes in and then there's 11 minutes of it. Oh, we don't think you're a man, so you need to wear really terrible gloves, the world's worst gloves, to become a man several times a year. How ridiculous, I tell ya. How stupid.
Like the Spartans, the Sambia tribe of Papua New Guinea also prepares their children for adulthood, but their methods are even more shocking and grotesque. The Sambia tribe regards women as impure and contagious, which is why all boys are taken away from their mothers at the age of 7 to live with the village males. Over the next 10 years, they are subjected to a brutal series of rituals designed to rid them of any feminine impurities. First, they have a sharpened stick jabbed up their nostrils until a large amount of blood comes out to teach them to be strong and endure pain.
That is not how that works. That is stupid.
The stick is not shoved through the nostril like a piercing, but rather straight up. If a boy tries to escape during the semi-lobotomy, they will be severely beaten and treated as a lesser being for their whole life.
Well, if they try to escape, Just take them back to their parents, where they belong.
Number 5. Justifiable cannibalism. Papua New Guinea once again makes this list with the Kumbai, a
Can't watch that. Can't bloody watch that. That's stupid, disgusting, horrible.
Chills. Number 7. Skeletor. The Hampton Court Palace in London is home to a well-known apparition named Skeletor, a genderless figure whose identity and intentions remain unknown to this day. In 2003, security guards stormed the palace after their fire alarm system showed a major breach near the exhibit hall. Someone had flung open the fire doors, sounding the alarm. The guards searched the vicinity and found no one to be there. A review of the tape showed the doors opening by themselves. Only blackness filled the doorway, nothing else. The next day, the fire alarm went off again. It was at the same time as before, and at the exact same location, just outside of the exhibit hall. When the guards got there, however, they were surprised to find everything was in order. The fire doors were securely shut, and a search turned up nothing out of the ordinary. They reviewed the tape again, expecting to find nothing, but this time they were absolutely baffled by what they saw. On the tape, both of the fire doors burst open, and a pale figure wearing floor-length garments steps into view. The figure stands in the doorway for a moment, seemingly scanning the area, and then closes the doors one at a time. It is impossible to determine the figure's gender, but the sleeves and neck of the outfit seem to be frilly, almost like a medieval tunic, and spectators agree that the figure was dressed as if it were straight out of the 16th century. The security guards weren't the only ones who think they have seen Skeletor. On that very same day, a visitor claims to have seen the figure as well. In fact, she was so startled that she wrote of the sighting in the palace's guest book. On the third day, the fire alarm went off one last time. The guards found nothing. Security footage shows the doors opening with no one behind them. The Hampton Court Palace was home to King Henry VIII, a royal figure famous for suspecting his wives of adultery and witchcraft and putting them to death. Could this ghostly sighting be a past wife of Henry's who could have never let go of her earthly ties? Or was it one of the other tens of thousands of people who died under the king's reign? No one knows for sure, and no one has ever seen Skeletor since. Number 6. Scared Shipless. The USS Hornet is an aircraft carrier that was active from World War II all the way to 1970. Although it has since been converted into a floating maritime museum, that's not enough to negate its dark and sinister past. The Hornet saw extraordinary heavy combat in World War II when the Japanese planes strafed them without mercy at the Midway Islands, bombing them with such an intensity that the crew had to load piping hot ammunition with their bare hands just to keep up with the frantic pace. Below deck, the USS Hornet ran on steam that made the control room over 125 degrees at times. More than one crewman died of heat stroke, or even
How much is 125 degrees Fahrenheit in Celsius?
It's 51.7 degrees Celsius.
Oh my god, are you joking? If that was in the UK, that would be 51.7 Celsius. I would die instantly. Holy crap, no.
even died from fatal burns after a steam pipe would rupture and melt their skin. Conditions were so bad that suicides were not uncommon from the stress alone. All in all, it is estimated that 300 lives were lost aboard this vessel, and it is legendarily haunted as a result. In 2009, a Coast Guard unit was repainting the USS Hornet's interior. When their paint ran low, one of them ran to find a person who was in charge of distributing more. Alone now, he wandered into a side passage until he saw a fellow Coast Guard about 25 feet ahead. He called out to the man, but instead of turning around, the man completely ignored him and turned a corner. When the Coast Guardsman followed, he found the entrance chained off and the room completely empty. This is one of the many stories of the quote-unquote dress white's ghost, a sailor who wears his bright white uniform with a vacant look. Some claim he was the captain, but his real identity and fate have never been discovered. On a different day around the same time as the first sighting, 2 tourists wandered into a section that was clearly off limits. While walking through the debris in abandoned rooms, they saw a uniformed officer walking towards them. They began to profusely apologize for trespassing, but the officer walked by them without making eye contact, instead turning into another room. When they followed him for directions, the room was empty. Number 5. Owner of a broken heart. Sonny Graham was a Georgia man who desperately needed a new heart. In 1995, he was finally scheduled to get one. The donor man was a 33-year-old man named Terry Cottill, who had shot himself to death. The heart transplant was successful and Graham was a new man, in more ways than one, some people would later add. It all started when something inside of Graham demanded to meet Cheryl Cottill, the widow of the donor who had saved his life. When they first met, there was something about Graham's personality that seemed oddly familiar to Cheryl. For example, one day, Graham suddenly developed a new craving for hot dogs and beer that never went away. Hot dogs and beer just so happened to be Terry Cottill's favorite combination. Although Graham was 65 and she was 38, it was as if the two had known each other forever. Their relationship blossomed, and by 2004 they were married. By that same year, however, the relationship seemed to be over already, and Graham did not take the breakup well. In response to getting a divorce, he shot himself in the head, just like Terry Cottill. Was this just a series of strange coincidences that led to 2 men with the same heart to kill themselves in the exact same way? Or was it Terry's heart, unable to stand losing the same woman twice, that compelled Graham to pull the trigger on that day? Number 4, the presence. Carissa Glenn, also known as Tish, was only 18 when she learned that a woman had hung herself in the same apartment building that she was moving into. Still, that did not stop the young girl from wanting to move away from her family and become fully independent. Tish had dreams of one day becoming a police officer, and she was already making a decent living as a bartender at the time. This was in the UK, where the legal drinking age is not 21. Upon moving into her new apartment, however...
Yeah, if some of you guys don't know, the legal age for us is 18 instead of for you Americans. If any Americans are watching, which for you guys is 21.
However, Tish, who her friends and family had described as bubbly and vivacious, appeared to change. Tish began regularly calling her mother to describe a strange quote-unquote presence in her small apartment room, especially at night. She began having vivid dreams about the woman who had killed herself that left her scared and panicking. During the final week before tragedy struck, Tish called her mother no less than 3 separate times to complain of a dreadful feeling that would not go away no matter what she tried to do. Her family pleaded with her to return home, even saying that they would pay all of the costs just so long as she got out of her current living conditions, which were obviously driving her insane. Tish, however, refused to let her parents help. She felt that she could withstand the presence on her own. In the middle of the night, Tish got out of bed and went into her bathroom. She tied a pink scarf around the shower rail and looped it around her neck. Number 3.
And she hung herself? Oh my god. Why did she refuse? Why didn't the parents go to her apartment to get her out of there?
Confession by possession. The brutal death of Teresita Basha rattled 1970s Chicago. The 47-year-old woman was found naked in her apartment, tied to a mattress, stabbed in the chest with a steak knife, which was still sticking out of her. Then whoever did this also set her on fire. Aside from missing jewelry, no motive was found. Teresita had no enemies, but many friends. One of them was a co-worker named Remy Chua. Remy was heartbroken over her friend's death, and one day told Teresita's spirit that she would be okay with her friend visiting and explaining what happened. Shortly thereafter, Remy began seeing a man's face wherever she went. She knew it was Teresita's murderer. The visions became more and more intense as they revealed more facts and information to her until she could finally channel her friend at will. When Remy claimed to be possessed by her friend, her husband and a medical doctor were so convinced that he made her tell the police. She filed a police report explaining that a man named Alan Showery had killed Teresita and stolen jewelry after entering her house to fix a television set. The police were most likely unaware that this lead was the result of a spiritual confession, or else they probably would have thrown it out. Still, when they went to speak with Alan Showery, they saw his wife and cousin both wearing Teresita's jewelry. This was enough to get Alan to confess to the grisly murder sometime later. While there are many mysteries surrounding this case, one thing is for sure: if the paranormal world is real, then Teresita's spirit has been finally laid to rest. Number 2. The Devil Visits Germany. Anneliese Michel was a young German woman who inspired the film The Exorcism of Emily Rose. When Anneliese refused to go near a picture of Jesus, saw demonic faces everywhere, and began to smell like death, the local population was sure that she was possessed. As if that weren't enough, she would regularly rip off her clothing, do hundreds of squats at superhuman speeds, and eat spiders and coal. On one occasion, she crawled under a table and growled for 2 days straight, and on another she bit the head off of a dead bird. Exasperated, her family hired an exorcist to perform an ancient ritual from the year 1614, ancient Roman times. He repeated the rites 67 times over her body, sometimes for up to 4 hours at a time. The sessions were recorded for evidence. Anneliese would identify herself as different figures such as Biblical Cain, the evil Roman Emperor Nero, Hitler, and even Lucifer himself. Sometimes the evil figures would even argue with themselves, using her body as a mouthpiece. Unfortunately, the exorcism did not go as planned. Instead of getting the devil out of her body, by 1976, the young girl was dead at the age of 23. She weighed only 67 pounds and had apparently starved to death. Her parents say that she refused to eat in order to atone for the sins of others, but others believe that her body could not survive the hellish possession and perished. Her parents and the priest were all found guilty of negligent manslaughter and spent 6 months in prison. If this infamous case is to be believed, then this is the first time Satan's voice has ever been recorded.
Welches noch?
Das sag ich Ihnen nicht.
Im Namen Jesu.
Nein! Nein!
Der allerseligsten Jungfrau. Im Namen des Vaters und des Sohnes und des
Ja, das Scheißloch ohne dich!
Stand am Jange. Ja, das ist Familie.
Ihr könnt's auch nicht machen. Scheiß durch, was die doof schreien. Nein! Sie Drecksau, sie Verflucht! Das ist unhörbar und grausam ist. Grausam! Sie Drecksau, sie Verfluchte! Der das ganze Deutschland verführt, oder? Ja, der ist ja noch drin.
Im Namen des dreifaltigen Gottes und allerseligsten Jungfrau Maria, sagt die Wahrheit.
Number 1. Death at the Cecil Hotel. What was going through Elisa Lam's mind during her final hours on this earth is anyone's guess, and these days there are a lot of people guessing. She was staying at the Cecil Hotel when, on her 3rd day there, elevator footage caught her engaging in what could be one of the creepiest paranormal encounters ever recorded. Elisa enters the elevator normally at first, only to begin nearly hitting every button on the left side. She quickly glances down the hall both ways as if she was being trailed by something, hugs the corner, and checks again. She steps in and out of the elevator multiple times in a daze as if she is having conversations with people who cannot be seen. While all of this happens, the elevator does not respond to her button presses, and the doors remain wide open. Even when she presses all of the buttons in a frantic hurry, the elevator still will not close. Only when Eliza wanders away do the doors open and close randomly. Eliza was found dead shortly after. Somehow she had gotten into a water tank located on the roof, even though the Cecil Hotel staff says there were no ways for her to get up there. The door to the roof is locked and protected by an alarm, they say. They also say that Eliza was moved to a different room after her roommates observed strange behavior and no longer felt safe around her. What do you think Eliza saw?
Bloody hell. Some stuff people do, I tell ya, it's... just... I mean, you can just see, like, all in my face that I'm just like, why? I mean, why? I don't get it. I don't get it. That... I don't get it. I really don't get it. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm trying to lighten the mood at the minute, but I just don't get it. I really don't get why some people do stuff like that. We don't think you're a man, so we're gonna make you jump off a 70-foot building that we created out of wood and vines and whoopty bloody do. I can't believe some people. I really don't. Every year. Every flipping year. It's just absolutely stupid. Absolutely ridiculous. That's all I can say. Right, I don't know how long my dinner's gonna be, so before I have to go and get my dinner, I'm gonna end the stream here. My backside's killing me, and yeah, I will rest it for a bit before I have to go and get my dinner and sit here for a little bit longer. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this live stream. I hope you enjoyed this live stream. You probably didn't. Give this live stream a thumbs up if you did though. Like, comment and subscribe. Make sure to hit the bell icon so you guys get notified on when I upload or live stream. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next live stream or video. Did I mention about the video? I know I rarely upload videos now because of the only computer I haven't even told you guys actually. The reason why I rarely upload videos and I live stream more is because it's just easier for me, and I feel like personally it's time wasting, like a lot of time wasting just editing a video to then be uploaded and be like, did I waste all that bloody time? I mean, like, I have a good few videos here that I said to myself I was going to edit to then put onto YouTube, but clearly I never did. I clearly never edited any of the videos to then upload them, of course. Like, so I clearly never did that. And I even have one. Is it here? Yeah, deleting Minecraft in itself, and this is what happened. Like, I might show you guys some of these videos one day. I don't know when or if I even can, because I know I know showing one of them actually got one of the videos copyrighted or whatever. Well, not actually well, actually, yeah and no, because it got the video copyrighted, but it only had a copyright claim, thankfully. So, yeah. I don't know if it was because of the videos I might have been watching, or if it actually was the one of my videos. I really don't know. I really don't know. So, yeah, like I said, I'm going to end it here now, guys, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.